Hey Facebook friends, how's everyone doing today? Hope you're all having an awesome Friday so far. Tamie M coming to you from TamieMCoaching.com. And what I want to talk to you about today is always a super hot topic, like always a super hot topic. So today we're going to talk about the topic, and then we're going to talk about why I think it's such a super hot topic. So in case we haven't met before, I'll take a quick moment to properly introduce myself. Again, my name is Tamie M. I am an empowerment coach for women. I help women break free from painful relationship patterns through a proven 8-week process called the Freedom Class. And if you want some information on that, you can go to www.TamieMCoaching.com. and you'll see all the details on the Freedom Class, and there's even a link at the bottom of that page to book a free strategy call with me. You can always drop a comment or send me a private message as well if you'd like to connect that way. So I see we have a whole bunch of people hopping on already. Like I said, this is a super hot topic, so not surprising. Welcome friends, thanks for joining. Do me a favor, if you're catching me live, drop a 1 in the comments. If you're catching the replay, drop a 2, and if you're new to my live broadcast, let me know you're new and let me know where you're coming in from so I can reach out and say hello. So how to spot a narcissist? How to spot a narcissist? This is a really hot topic. And you know, I think it's really important, especially for those of us who are highly empathic, untreated codependents in particular. Often we're highly empathic, untreated codependents, which is a pretty powerful combination. Those of us who grew up in highly dysfunctional families of origin and have maybe, you know, not resolved some of our history, those are the things that make us a really good match to attracting destructive narcissists into our lives, right? So a lot of folks are just starting to wake up to this reality, it would seem, and they are real hungry for information. So because of the nature of the platform, there's only so much information I can go into today. So if anything I say leaves you with any questions, drop me a comment or send me a private message. I'm happy to answer your questions for you if you need more detail. The first thing I want to say about this is it's really important to understand that when we're talking about these issues, narcissism, pathological, malignant, destructive, whatever it is, codependency, treated, in the process of recovery, whatever it is, these are on spectrums. They are never black and white issues. There is a spectrum, right? There's a spectrum. So there's a way that the character traits and the maladaptive behaviors manifest. There's many ways, many ways that the maladaptive behaviors and the character traits manifest. And it's not going to be black or white, all or nothing. It's going to be on a spectrum, a continuum. Some people are going to be more progressed, more advanced in their personality disorder than others. Some people are going to display certain character traits more amplified and others less amplified than others. But the idea here is to get a really good idea of what it is that we're looking for, so that when it's coming at us, we can recognize it. Now, what to do about it is a whole other freaking conversation. It's a whole other conversation. What to do about it is a whole other conversation, and obviously in the Freedom Class, we deal with that in great detail over the course of an 8-week period, where I take you through a transformational process so that you're no longer a freaking match to this nonsense, quite frankly, is really what it boils down to. But again, that's another conversation. So for the purpose of today, what I'm going to do is I'm going to run through the main character traits that will tip you off to the fact that someone lands on the spectrum of destructive narcissism, high-end destructive narcissism, pathological, malignant, destructive narcissistic personality disorder essentially, and it can go as far as being as scary as sociopath, psychopathy. That is like obviously the high end of the spectrum, right? Basically what these people are is devoid of empathy, lacking in conscience, and it manifests in a whole bunch of ways to varying degrees. So let's have a look at the list. Now normally when I go into this discussion, this topic on a live, I'll give my take on each one of these character traits, but for the purpose of today, I want to make the conversation a little different because a lot of you are new, but a lot of you have heard this before. You can go back into the history, my YouTube channel, on Facebook, wherever, go back into the history and catch the previous lives I've done on this to get my take on the individual character traits. For today, I'm going to go through bullet points because there's a whole other conversation I want to have at the end of this video that I think is really, really important. Why is this such a hot topic? Why does it draw so much attention? And I think that that's a conversation worth having, so we will get to that at the end. So, how to spot a narcissist? How to spot a narcissist? First and foremost, they are completely self-absorbed. Completely self-absorbed. It's the first thing you're going to notice. They are completely self-absorbed. Nose in navel, okay? They are highly manipulative. Highly manipulative. They are compulsive liars more often than not. They have no problem lying. They are compulsive liars. Often on the higher end of the spectrum, they will lie even when it's not necessary to lie. How do you know when a destructive narcissist is lying? Their lips are moving. They can be incredibly charming, and sometimes, but not always, highly intelligent. Sometimes, but not always. I can think of a couple that, that I know up close and personal. Not the smartest people, but unbelievably cagey, unbelievably manipulative, unbelievably charming when it serves them to be. They are grandiose. They are grandiose. They are highly seductive and will love bomb you. Especially in the beginning. I'm having a conversation with someone yesterday saying, like, I just don't understand. I went from being the most, amazing person ever in this person's universe to being completely discarded, like dropped like a hot piece of coal in a flash, and, they've not been seen or heard from since. Like, I don't get it. Like that, she was going through the love bombing stage in the beginning, and that's a whole other conversation, track, like what really went on there. I've got some opinions, a whole other conversation, but they can be highly seductive and love bomb you in the beginning. They will also love bomb you when they want back in. They will also love bomb you when they start hoovering you. They find another source of supply that for whatever reason they prefer. Off they go. When that supply is onto them and cuts them off, they'll circle back around. And how they get back in through the hoovering stage is to love bomb you all over again. You want to be well insulated from falling for that. You want to be well insulated from falling for that. They lack boundaries. They lack boundaries. Your life, your finances, your kids, your home, your everything, your person, they have no boundaries. As far as they are concerned, it's all just an extension of them. They are incredibly entitled, have no boundaries. They will say anything to prove their point or get their way, no matter how bizarre, untrue, or cruel. No matter how bizarre, untrue, or cruel, they will say anything to get their way, prove their point, have the last word, manipulate the situation. They lack conscience. They lack conscience. They have zero empathy for the consequences of their behaviors, their attitudes on you or anyone else. Not only could they just not give a flying fuck, the wiring that, you and I and most normal human beings have that, causes us to feel a pang of guilt when we misbehave or, do something we ought not to have done or, like done something that, wish I had done or said that better. We get a pang of guilt. They don't have that wiring. The wires do not connect. Do not connect. They are completely devoid of conscience. They are empathy deficient. Empathy deficient. So here you are banging your head against the wall trying to figure out how they could do or say such horrible, awful, mean-spirited, hurtful things because you're measuring them by your own yardstick. But that doesn't work if you're trying to make sense of insanity, because that's what you're trying to do. You're trying to make sense of insanity. They don't play by the same rules. They don't play by the same rules. They are not wired the same way. They can do and say things that you would never consider doing or saying because they lack empathy. They are empathy deficient. They lack conscience. They are not wired the same way. They are constitutionally incapable of understanding, absorbing, caring about, couldn't care less, does not land the consequences of their behavior and their actions and their attitudes on you or anybody else for that matter, which is why they are such dangerous people to have in your personal space, in your personal life. Dangerous, destructive people. They will never apologize. Never. Do you know anyone like that who, like, when you come to think about it, they've actually never ever uttered an apology, never apologized for poor behavior, unless, of course, they're trying to manipulate you back into the fold. And even then, their feigned remorse will be very short-lived. Even then, their feigned remorse will be very short-lived. I remember I got an apology about a year ago. Someone that I was working with at the time did something that was so shocking, off the charts shocking and mean and inappropriate and ugly and like, what the hell? And I gave the person the benefit of the doubt, as you do as a decent human being, and I tried to have a, conversation with the individual, and in the conversation where I was communicating the impact of their behavior on me and how, shocking this was, their feigned remorse came across like this. You're right, that was a really stupid thing to do, and I'm sorry, but I really hope you're not that sensitive, because if you are, we're going to have a real hard go of it. That, my friends, is not an apology. If someone is apologizing to you in that fashion, that is a lot of information about who they are. That is a lot of information about where they're at. This person then went on to smear campaign me. Very classic narcissistic behavior. Not an important person in my life, couldn't care less about the opinions of those he was talking to and what have you, didn't really even matter, but thank you for the information. 2-3 months into our relationship, you showed me exactly who you are, so I can close the door. Take care of myself. Now go fill your boots and have fun and do the thing that the narcissists do. Go do that. I couldn't care less. I'm well insulated, well protected from caring about that kind of crap. Thank you for showing me who you are. But my friends, tuning in today, if anyone is offering you that kind of an apology, that is not an apology. That is not an apology. So they will never apologize for poor behavior unless, of course, they're trying to manipulate you back into the fold. And even then, their feigned remorse is very short-lived. Very short-lived. And it'll come with a jab. It'll come with puking some sort of, I behaved inappropriately, but it's your fault. It'll come with something like that, right? You'll be the problem in the situation. Very, very inappropriate. Lots of information. Pay attention. Pay attention. They gaslight. They cause you to doubt your reality and yourself. Cruel. Brutally cruel. Brutally cruel. They have a false sense of superiority. I could do a live for an hour or more just on this one, where this stems from, what this is about. Time does not allow, but they have a false sense of superiority. They prop themselves up with a false sense of superiority, and they are well defended in that false sense of superiority, well defended. deep in their unconscious, deep in their shadow, in their particular wiring, they are well defended against knowing what the reality is. They have a sense of entitlement. They are very envious of other people. They are very envious of others. They are very contemptuous of others, you and others. They are contemptuous without cause, without provocation. They are, know anyone like that who's always looking down their nose at everybody? Everybody else is inferior. They have contempt for everybody, including you often. Unless, of course, they're trying to get something from you, then they're incredibly charming. Unless, of course, there's an agenda there, then they're unbelievably charming, right? If there's an agenda. Otherwise, they're incredibly contemptuous. Big, 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 like, red flag. They tell blatant lies. They deny they ever said something, even if you have proof. They deny they ever did something, even if you have proof. You can be standing there with cold, hard facts right here. And they will deny, 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 deny. And this is where the gaslighting comes in, right? Like, it can be crazy making to be dealing with someone like that on a regular basis, especially, God forbid, it's someone who's telling you that they love you, and then this is the kind of garbage that's going on. Really screws with your head, your emotions, your energy, your life. They use what is near and dear to you as ammunition. There's a lot of moms out there finding this out who have lived this, right? They will use whatever is near and dear to you as your as ammunition, including your children, which is disgusting and horrible. And my heart breaks for so many mothers that I speak to who are in the process of dealing with this person who is completely devoid of conscience, manipulating children. They wear you down over time. They wear you down over time. Their actions do not match their words. Their actions do not match their words. Always pay far more attention to what people do than what they say. Words are easy. Words are easy. There's a woman in my life, well, she's not in my life anymore, but she's been in and out of my life my whole life, who could say, when it served her, how much she loved and cared about me, but from the time I was 5 onwards, her behavior said the exact opposite in every possible way. She taught me a very powerful lesson. She taught me a lot of lessons in my life, thank you. She taught me a very powerful lesson. Pay attention to what people do, not what they say. Their words mean nothing if their behavior doesn't back it up. They throw in positive reinforcement to confuse you. They know confusion weakens people. They project. This is another one. I could do a live for an hour or more just on this. Basically what this boils down to, friends, is, we all project to some degree. What are we projecting, right? So 5% of the game of life is conscious, 95% of the game is unconscious. And when what's going on in your unconscious mind, what you've got stored away in your shadow is so deep, so dark, so ugly, so awful, so vile, so painful, that you cannot bear to look at the reality of yourself. The split, the disconnect is so intense. You go through life projecting that garbage onto the nearest target, any target that fits, any target that's willing to stand in the way of the bus. Like if you're volunteering to be the target. I don't volunteer for that stuff anymore, but before I woke up, before I got into recovery, before I started to do my healing work, I used to, from an unconscious wounded place, volunteer to be the garbage bin for the projected unresolved pain of a lot of narcissistic people. So if you've got someone who's like screaming bloody murder at you and accusing you of doing things that are so far removed from who you are or anything you'd consider doing, they are projecting onto you. They are projecting onto you. If you have people in your life who are accusing you of doing things, of being things, of saying things that you know are not who you are, Own that, own what you know, and don't get that shit on you. Don't let that land. And understand that what they're doing is projecting what they cannot own or accept about themselves onto you. Don't accept it. Know the truth of who you are. They try to align people against you. They gather the troops, right? They triangulate. Especially if they can't manipulate you. When toxic people can no longer control you, they try to control how people see you. Our job is to get our self-esteem to a place where the people who matter know who I am. You know? The people who matter know who I am. I know who I am. Fill your boots. They tell you or others that you are crazy. They tell you that everyone else is a liar. They tell you or others that you are crazy. They tell you or others that you are the sick one. They tell you, or they're projecting, right? They tell you or others that you are the liar, you are the this, you are the that. And they tell you that everyone else is lying. If you've got anyone in your life who might, be able to shine a light of truth and reality onto the situation, they're not going to want that person around. And that person is going to be the liar, the bad one, right? The smear campaign. Again, when a narcissist or a toxic person can no longer control you, they will try to control how others see you. When we are wounded and insecure and we have not done our own work, this can be an excruciatingly painful thing that we go through. It's awful. I have been there. It sucks. I have learned that the only antidote to this is to do my own healing work, to heal my owies, to up-level my self-esteem, to work on my sense of self-love, to the point where I am so full and so convinced of my freaking awesomeness that that garbage doesn't land. It has nowhere to land. It doesn't stick. It doesn't matter. I know who I am. God knows who I am. The people who matter, the safe people in my close inner circle who matter to me, they know who I am. Anybody else's opinion, not even on the radar. Not even on the radar. People can say whatever they want to say. On the internet, off the internet, around families, around the office. Reputation is just, it's a hallucination. It's an illusion. It's not necessarily based in reality. It's almost never based in reality, good or bad. It's not, almost ever based in reality. It's the opinions of other people, more often than not deeply unconscious people who have a limited amount of information and they think they know. And they think they know. Good luck, God bless with that. So, part 2. You guys getting some value out of this? You liking this? If you're getting some value out of this, do me a favor and drop me a comment. Let me know what it is that's hitting home more than anything, or just give me a love heart shower. Just hit the love button and let me know that you're getting some value out of this. If you hopped on late, be sure to go back and watch the replay so that you can catch all the goods. You can catch all of the information from the top of the live. There will be a replay. So the thing that I wanted to really discuss more than anything is, yes, it's important to be able to spot these people, to be educated and informed, especially if we are wired and programmed in such a way where we tend to attract them and be attracted to them, because that's a two-way street, right? Attract them into our lives and be attracted to them. So if we are susceptible in that way, the first thing for sure is to become educated, to have the information so that we can start to recognize what the hell's really going on, especially if we've been gaslighted the majority of our lives, right? And we're a little confused, this person's telling us one thing, doing something else. Like, it's crazy making. And if you've been on the receiving end of a lot of that your whole life, like many of us have, ouch, it's hard to find your way out of that. So the very first thing for sure is to understand, what the hell am I dealing with, right? But it doesn't stop there. You're just getting started. That's just information. And information's powerful to a point, but it doesn't end there. The reality is, We have to heal what it is that we carry that causes us to attract these folks into our lives, and that causes us to be unconsciously compelled towards them, like moth to a flame. Why is it these people light up so much for us, right? Why is it that because a really healthy person's gonna look at that and go, good, like, you know, I'm out of here the first time the bullshit starts happening, right? But those of us that stick around and get caught in the painful cycle with these people, you know, for me, eventually I got to a place where I was like, what the hell is wrong with me that I keep doing this? You know, I'm in my mid-30s now and I'm scratching my head like, what the hell is, I'm the common denominator here. You know, we can blame them, we can criticize them, we can focus on them all we want, but sooner or later we got to understand that we're responsible for what's showing up in our reality. Maybe not as children, but once we're adults, we are. We have to take responsibility for what's showing up, right? Doesn't make us bad or wrong. It's not your fault, but it is your responsibility to do something about it. So the reason I think this is always such a hot topic, how to spot a narcissist. The reason I think when I talk about this, these videos get more views, more comments, more private messages, more questions than anything else is because of this. As untreated codependents, we are in a place where we are obsessively focused on the other. We are obsessively focused on them. And I'm going to shoot straight, and some of you aren't going to like it, and that's just fine. You can click off. You don't need to listen. But those of you who are ready for the truth and the solution, even if it's uncomfortable, pay attention, because the truth will set you free. The truth set me free. No different than an alcoholic is obsessively focused on the drink, or a drug addict is obsessively focused on the drug. An untreated codependent is obsessively focused on their drug of choice, which is their person, and for the sake of this conversation, that is typically a destructive narcissist, wherever they land on that spectrum, a destructive narcissist. The untreated codependent is obsessively focused on them. How can I fix them? How can I change them? How can I control the situation? Obsessively focused on what's going on outside. And that's not where the solution is. I'm having a conversation with a woman yesterday who's saying to me, "Oi, 18 years of marriage." And according to her, she's very well educated and informed in, you know, this whole conversation, yet she can't figure out why she still can't figure out how to fix him. 'Cause honey, you can't fix him. You cannot fix him. The best psychiatrists on the planet cannot fix them. They are, first of all, not interested in being fixed. According to them, as far as they are concerned, they are not the issue. And believe me, they are well defended against knowing what the real issue is. So you don't have a hope in hell in putting a dent in that. Your hope is in working on yourself and what got you in the situation to begin with. So the reason I think this is always such a big topic and such a hot topic for people is because as untreated codependents, we are focused on them. We want to know all about them so that we can fix them, because if only they would change, we would be okay. And the reality is it doesn't work that way. And I wish I knew 20 years earlier, you know, I wish it hadn't taken me so long to figure out what actually worked, but I finally figured out what actually worked quite a number of years ago, and everything changed. And what that was taking the focus off of them and putting the focus on me. What's my work? What am I carrying? What do I have that is left unresolved? What have I lived in my history that is a vibrational match to this experience? What is it that I need to heal so that I am not codependently, obsessively, compulsively, like a moth to flame, drawn to these kind of destructive, abusive people, and then completely biochemically addicted to them and unable to break free? What's going on with me that's causing that whole dynamic. Because I can break up with him, I can divorce him, I can toss him to the curb, but the truth is I'm still left with me. And if I don't deal with me, I'm just going to attract another one just like him or worse. And I did that for years. I did that for 15 to 20 years, from the time I started dating till the time I put the drink and the drug down. And the drink and the drug was not just the drink and the drug. It was the, like, okay, I need to stay out of relationships long enough to figure out what the hell's going on with me. Long enough to figure out what's going on with me. That's what I mean by putting the drink and the drug down, right? You can get rid of him, but if you don't do some work on you, what happens is you just attract another. Usually worse. Usually worse. These issues are progressive. They get worse, never better, left untreated. No different than alcoholism and drug addiction. It's life or death. It's life or death. These are not, you know, little issues. These are not small issues. These are things that, you know, it's big stuff. It's your life we're talking about. It's your life. So you can spend the rest of your life obsessively focused on him or them or her or whoever it is, or you can decide to take your power back and put the focus back on you. And loving you and nurturing you and caring for you and healing you and figuring out what's going on with you so that you can shift yourself from the inside out. And then what shows up on the outside becomes very different. You start vibrating in a whole other place. Our outside, I say it all the time, I'll say it again, it's from A Course in Miracles. Our outside is always a reflection of what's going on our inside. Our outside is always a reflection of what's going on our inside. So if we don't like what's going on the outside, we have to address it on the inside first, or nothing changes. Nothing changes. And that, my friends, is what we do in the Freedom Class. It's an 8-week program where I walk you through a transformational process. I have a group coaching program opening next Friday. I also offer it with one-on-one, and it is a transformational process designed to give you everything that you need to shift what's going on the inside so that what's going on the outside shifts as well. Up level and upgrade your life. Life is too short. Life is too short, too valuable, too awesome to be spending it in these unhealthy, toxic, destructive dynamics with these dangerous people who do not value and love us in the way that we deserve to be valued and loved. You did not come to this planet to be abused. You did not come to this planet to be the dumping ground of somebody else's toxic projections. That is not why you are here. If you're interested in information on the Freedom Class, drop me a comment, send me a private message, or go to www.tamiemcoaching.com. There's a link at the bottom of the page. You can get all the details on the program and then apply, because I don't work with everyone. If you're in stage 0, meaning you are still addictively attached to with no intention of putting the drug down, I am not your girl. I am not your girl. The Freedom Class can't help you. But if you are ready to take the focus off of them and put it on you and shift from the inside out and get a kick-ass education as well as an unbelievable amount of tools to help you do that with all the loving support that you need as you travel that journey, then I am definitely your girl. So again, you can drop a comment, send a private message, or just go to tamiemcoaching.com, go to the bottom of the page and apply for a free strategy call with me, or click the button apply to book a free strategy call with me and apply for the Freedom Class. Guys, I hope you got some value out of this today. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to like, comment, and or share. Once again, my name is Tamie M. I am an empowerment coach for women. I help women break free from painful relationship patterns through a proven 8-week process called the Freedom Class. Enjoy the rest of your day. I will look forward to catching up with you very, very soon, probably on Monday. Trying to go live consistently Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Some weeks are better than others depending on what's going on, but I will probably catch up with you on Monday. So again, go enjoy the rest of your day. And as always, Know your value. Know your value and unlock your freedom. Mwah. Much love. Bye for now.